I want you to cry into your Hello Kitty pillow. I want you to put your headphones on. I want you to listen to some Taylor Swift. And I want you to shake it off, you bland bitch.
What up, y'all? It's KMB, the Sexy Ninja, in the place to be for Paper Saber Universe, and this is the New World Podcast, brother. And we're talking about NXT, March 24th, 2026. Vic Booker on commentary. We are building to New York City next week in the Garden. Huge shows, Raw and NXT. I'm very excited. We're going to Stand and Deliver April 4th in St. Louis, and it will be on YouTube. Peacock and WWE are officially done. All NXT products, and I believe Saturday Night Main Events will be on the YouTube channels. So going forward, NXT has a new home, and that is YouTube. Ain't a bad thing. I got YouTube. I'll get rid of Peacock now. I don't really watch anything on Peacock besides the Ted series. Even then, I don't think it's worth it. I think getting rid of one subscription service. If I had to get rid of some, it would be Paramount and it would be Peacock. I think those are the two I would get rid of. I use Netflix, I use Disney, and I use YouTube. I use YouTube a lot, so we shall see. Lighten the wallet, lighten the load. But we started off with Shiloh. He's with Mr. Stone, and Tatum searching for Blake Monroe because Blake stole the North American Championship. Briggs, throughout the entire show, has been trying to get Stone's attention. Then the ref comes up to Stone, takes Stone, says we have something, because they showed in this match, later on, that LaFleur, the luchador from France, was attacked. Ooh, attacked him. Ooh. First match of the night, Fatal Influence versus Ren and Gray. Oh my gosh. And Ren Sinclair has a match next week with Lola Vice. See who's going to be the number one contender to take on JC Jane. But Fatal Influence, this was an awesome match and an awesome way to start the show. Ren Sinclair is the new speed champion, taking gold away from Fatal Influence. Kendall Gray is really on the rise. I think she's going to beat Lola next week and go on to beat JC at Stand and Deliver April 4th in St. Louis. I just feel that, but Lola does deserve that as well, so it's kind of an up in the air sort of thing, But Ren and Gray get the win over Fatal Influence. They get a double tap out. Then here comes Lola. She's like, I'm going after that championship. Kendall's like, I'm going after that championship. And JCJ's like, well, bring it, bitches. We got a really heartfelt, emotional segment here between Sol Ruka and Zarya. The breakup of breakups here in NXT. Sol like, hey, I did everything I could for you. Anytime there was an opportunity, I made sure to be like, hey, can Zarya come with me? And Zarya comes out and says, don't make me seem like the pity party. Don't do that. I am somebody that you should not just stop. And Zarya and Sol just go back and forth, and you can feel the tension between the two because they are friends, but not anymore because they both want opportunities to become something bigger in NXT and go on to the main roster. Sol even throw that in Zarya's face. Like, when I went up, I said, can we bring Zarya? And Zarya doesn't like that either because she doesn't want to be somebody that's just, that's put in this position. But Sol and Zarya will have a match to have this feud blow off, and they both can move on. Then we have Ricky backstage with Ethan Page. Ricky has a match tonight against Tony, who's going after the NXT Championship. And I really love Ricky and Ethan's relationship. These two are funny. Then here comes Josh. Josh just trying to get some love here on this show. Then here comes Joe. And this all... Yeah. Kalani Jordan takes on Thea. This was a fun match. Kalani Jordan did get the win, and it was a beat down afterwards. Kalani Jordan beating down Thea Hale, and then who comes to the rescue? Miss Parker. She comes to save Thea. because she has some fisticuffs to deal with Kalani Jordan. We got a North American gauntlet match, a gauntlet eliminator match. This was awesome. This was my match of the night, to be really honest. Shiloh, I thought Shiloh was going to go on and so he can go face Miles Bourne. But no, we had a surprise person come out, And OTM did take out Dion. But Shiloh eliminated Charlie. Dion, I believe he eliminated Sean or whatever. But here comes Johnny Gargano. Candice LeRae's like, hey, I'm trying to get him out of the rut and this and that. And Johnny has to have some purpose again. I love the finish after Birthright beat down Shiloh. They throw him in the ring. Candice just pushes Johnny, and Johnny in that sad pose just falls. And 1, 2, 3, he will go on and face Miles Bourne for the North American Championship. And I was like, oh, okay. And that put a little sparkle in his eye. So Johnny, you got this. And Miles comes out, and I'm looking at them. I'm like, oh, man. These two are going to create magic. Magic. Then we go into Vanity Projects with Mr. Stone, and here comes Joss again. And then Jada wants a match with Kalani, and Josh once again like, I am right here. Let me speak, please. Then Sarah's with OTM. They're going to do a trios match next week. But OTM says, since we're going to be in New York City, we're bringing some backup. And that is Santana sitting in a hotel door cutting a promo. I thought it was pretty silly. But Santana is joining OTM to take on Dark State. The tag team #1 contenders tournament. The Culling. Who are they going to face? Los Americanos, and this was a fun match. They loaded the masks. They got the Los Americanos got the win. Next week, they will face Birthright. I love that name for the team. And see who will go on and compete for the tag team championships. Who is the tag team champions right now? Oh, it's the Vanity Project. Yeah, my bad. I was thinking in my brain, I was like, who is it? Who? Then we go backstage with Mr. Stone again with Keanu, and Stone has been trying to find a ref. The refs throughout the show says no, they don't want to do it. Keanu and Jasper is just too dangerous. Then Josh comes in and is like, hey, since I can't get your attention, I got a better idea. I will be the referee. I ain't scared of no Keanu Carver. Keanu's like, what? So Josh, and then Stone's like, oh, I like that idea. Now I'll talk to you, Josh. He will be the special guest ref next week between Jasper and Keanu in New York City. So, yeah. Tatum's hunting Blake Monroe. She finds her and grabs her in the door. She says, you better bring my championship back. You're lucky this door's between us. And Blake's like, no. Poor Blake. Main event time. Tony D'Angelo versus Ricky Saints. This was a fun match to end the show. I'm really liking this aggressiveness of Tony. I'm really enjoying Ricky and Ethan's banter with the championship. And the way this match ended when Tony hits Ethan and Ethan takes out Tony, and then Ricky and Ethan start beating down Tony. Here comes Joe Hendry, and then right when I saw Joe, I was like, you know what? This is gonna be a fatal 4-way. This has to be. And right at the end shot with these four, Joe's standing tall. Tony's in the corner because he was taken out by Joe. Ricky and Ethan grab the championship at the same time. And just a shot of all four of them, I was like, this is a fatal 4-way. It's going to happen. And guess what? Sarah's with Mr. Stone. And Mr. Stone says, next week we will have a contract signing with Tony, Ricky, Ethan, and Joe for a fatal 4-way at Stand and Deliver. I think Tony D'Angelo's finally going to get the big one. I just got that feeling. Hooked on a feeling. So, Stand and Deliver, April 4th in St. Louis on YouTube. And New York City is next for Raw and NXT. But that's NXT, March 24th, 2026. Vic Booker on commentary. Match of the night is the Gauntlet Eliminator match to see who's going to face Miles Bourne for the North American Championship. And moment of the night is Johnny Gargano coming back and winning. And getting a sparkle in his eye. Sparkle. Second moment of the night is Soul and Zarya's back and forth promos. Love it, love it, love it. I love that we're going to get a Fatal 4-Way. This was just a fun show. So I'm honestly going to give this a 5 out of 5. I enjoyed this NXT very, very much. But that's it. That's all. Drop those comments below. Hit that like, hit the subscribe. Share with your grandma, share with your grandpa. Share with the bum down at Walmart. And remember that the New World Podcast is for life. Brother.